For all my reselling friends out there are some really small things that are having massive impacts on our reselling business, and we need to talk about it. So for those of you that are actually coming here for the first time, hello and welcome to the channel. This is my YouTube channel, I for Profit. My name is Vincent. I've been selling on eBay for about 3 years now. I'm currently doing this full-time as my primary income, working from home here with my wife and taking care of our 2 kids. We got 2 sons, they're 4 and 1, named Vincent and Khalil. I want to ask you guys an extremely important question right now, and that question is, think about it. Why is it that some resellers seem to be doing a lot better than other resellers? And this is a very simple hustle. We go find stuff to sell, we list it, and we make money, right? So it just doesn't make sense that some people seem to be having more and more and more success while other people are pretty much in the same exact spot, looking at them posting their freaking corny piles of packages every single day, leaving us wondering, like, what the Funko Pop am I not doing? And okay, I actually just have to address this because it's all in my background and I don't want it to look crazy because I try really hard to keep this looking nice, which if you've seen a lot of my older videos, this room has come a long way, okay? So this right here is 20 items that are going to be posted first thing tomorrow. And then this is another 60 items all lined up to be posted, and they're separated 20 by 20 by 20. There's like little dividers in there. So that's not a mess. Ain't no death pile. It's like my cue. Batter up, hit it home. So there's this ratio, maybe called the golden ratio, but it's the 80-20 rule. And it's also called the Pareto Principle. And that is that this weird ratio where it's like 20% of our actions are leading us to 80% of our results, right? And this ratio comes about in all kinds of ways. Like, for example, just think about it. Most people would say that they wear about 20% of their clothes and shoes about 80% of the time, right? And then think about it in sports too, right? Like if you're familiar with the NBA and the NFL, you could say even 20% or less of the players or teams are getting and making about 80% of the money, or getting like 80% or more, like LeBron, maybe even 95% of the money and attention. Like, how could one player be making millions and the other player might be only getting 40,000-50,000 a year, right? So that 80-20 rule is what we're thinking about here as it applies to us as resellers and how it's going to make us make more money and get better results. Okay, so how could it be a 20% of things leading to 80% of our results when there's only 3 main things that we do, right? That's like 33% each, right? But okay, so what do? We go sourcing, we try to find stuff for cheap, and then we hopefully maybe one day list it instead of putting it away and hoping that we maybe one day list it, right? We call those death piles. This whole space right here used to be my death pile. Now it's inventory, baby. It's all listed, right? And then what? The stuff sells and we ship it off. But see, the problem right there is that that's how we start off thinking, right? We source, we list, we ship. But that's really just too extremely oversimplified, right? And the profit is really in the details of those things. Now, this is where it's time to get mind blown. Sourcing, listing, and shipping, that's you being an employee working inside of your business. But every business has people that work inside the business, and they have what? Managers and entrepreneurs working outside the business, planning and tracking every little thing and making sure that things are happening, right? So we need to start what? planning when we're going to source, where we're going to source, what we're going to source. What are we looking for? Are we just hoping to run into something that we find and randomly decide to buy it and hope that we can make a profit off of it? When you knew, that's how you get started and get your feet wet. But you got to start having goals. You got to start saying that I want to find 20 items that I can make at least $20 profit off of each, that I could list all 20 of them in the same day to net me $200 in profit when those items sell at a future date, right? Now that's more specific, and that is what successful resellers are doing. They're saying they're having a plan for what time they're going to source. I need to be out by 8 o'clock at the flea market because I know Jose is going to be just now setting up, and I want to be the first person there to pick through the goods and have that relationship with him, right? Or for maybe a part-time person, you come home from work, right? Okay, you give yourself an hour, 2 hours break, and then you say, okay, boom, 6:30, I got 5 items here that I need to list by 7:30, right? Now you were very specific. You said what time from 6:30 to 7:30 I'm gonna list 5 items. So by being very specific and having a plan that you preset ahead of time with management skills, right? You now just focused in on being successful in your reselling business. That means when Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and everybody else hit you up with notifications, guess what? You don't have time for that because you are laser focused that you are going to get these 5 things listed in this exact hour. And that's just an example. But as you start to do that for yourself, things like this lead to massive differences in results. And I'm saying this from experience with myself, giving myself a deadline to finish things. Like when I say I'm listing, I used to just be working all freaking day. Now I say, okay, I give myself a deadline that I'm going to finish listing by a certain time. Then I'm going to start shipping, right? I have a specific amount of items that I'm going to list. I have a specific way that I do it where I take all the pictures first and then I list all the items after that in a specific way. These little things right here are the very, very, very small things that start to lead up to huge differences in results. Even when it comes to sourcing, like I said, having a plan for sourcing, you can get even more strategic where you could be sourcing online. You could be having notifications set up. You could be buying in bulk from people who happen to post stuff in bulk. In addition to being a manager and actually planning out your sourcing, your listing, your shipping, having an inventory system, you have to be tracking things. I used to didn't even track my profit. So how am I going to try to make 20%, 30%, 50% more this month than last month if you don't even know how much you made last month? So you got to be tracking your inventory, tracking your time, how much time are you spending sourcing in different places, what times you're going to these places, what are the results, like knowing when you found those home run items, what you did in trying to duplicate that. Just these little things add up. So you got to be planning, managing, and tracking things so you could be able to notice, like, okay, plan A is not working. Let me try a plan B. Let me try a plan C. Because I know when I went at 8 o'clock, I only found 2 or 3 things that was probably there yesterday that I missed. Or, okay, I can't go here every single day. Let me spend the extra time going somewhere else. Or this just ain't working at all. Let me see if I could start snagging stuff from offline, OfferUp, Mercari, buying stuff from people that are underpricing things until you find what works for you. But the key is that you're not just doing the basics and that you're paying attention to your results, and you can make small little adjustments that'll lead to huge differences in your outcomes over time. And that is what I'm experiencing right now. I'm going to give you guys more specific details soon, but first, we got to see how you guys even respond to this. So if this video had value for you, you guys already know, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. More importantly, so I can know that it's worth my time to go deeper into this to try to help bring more value by sharing what's working for me, and hopefully it'll work for you too.